If you want to dominate the online business space with paid advertising, there is no one better than Simon Harries. This legend has run ads for Agora, Tai Lopez, and he even was the affiliate manager for Russell Brunson. After spending 86 million on ads, Simon is ready to share his secrets with you. Also, remember to hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell for future updates. All right, let's get into it. Welcome, Simon.
Thanks for having me, bud. Thank you.
Awesome, man. You are one of the biggest guys I know, actually. Ran a lot of ads, $86 million in ad spend.
Yeah.
Worked with Tai, ClickFunnels.
Yeah, it's been like a long 10 years, actually.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
I want to know your story, man. Like, how did you even get into the online space?
Dude, it's a weird story, and I actually preach about it a lot, too. I actually took a job, right? I actually started working. So I was in college. I was running nightclub marketing. I bet a lot of people kind of come from that space into digital. And I was like 20 years old, and I was like, you know what? I don't really want to stand on a Tuesday night outside a nightclub letting 18-year-old students into there. So what I did is I went ahead and just started looking like in Indeed, like anyone. Like I needed to make money. I wanted to get into digital marketing, and I found Alex Jeffries, and I basically applied for a job, went down there, and he just hired me. He hired me, and all I did was like lock and load emails. Like that was my whole job. I was like the worst email writer in the world. Like Alex and Adam Davis at the time, they just used to laugh how bad it was. Like it was so bad. And then I think I realized really quickly there's affiliate managers and stuff in there. And then I started supporting them. And then I just built more relationships than that affiliate manager who'd been working there for 2 years. And that's kind of how I started. And then I went to Alex and I said I wanted a pay rise. And he said, well, I'll just give you a commission bump. And I was like, okay. And then he paid me $1 for every front end unit. That was it. That was the deal. So he would pay me $1 for every front end unit. And then just like anything, it started slow. We did like 5,000, 10,000 unit launches. And then, dude, I'm from a small town in Wales. Like, I was making like 15,000 a month. I thought I was the king. I mean, it was wild. Yeah. Like, and Alex was good to me. Like, I did leave, but like he paid me on time. Like he set high goals. Like it was crazy. Like we were making tons of money in that side of stuff. And then I decided what happened is I actually went to a JVZOO event in San Diego. So we just did some big launches, like Superlist, like these things did like 80,000 units in a month.
Wow.
Just, like crazy numbers, all affiliate sales. And then I went to San Diego to kind of like my first event outside of the UK little circuit, like the circuit, it was Alex, like John Thornhill, Matt Garrett, like those, it was like, those are all friends with Alex. But then when I went to America, everyone was like, oh, hey, come and manage my stuff. So that kind of dropped the penny for me. It was like, oh, I can actually start a company doing this. And I went into that like affiliate management space. I left Alex and did some launches with some big people. And we crushed. Dude, I was making great money doing affiliate launches. I mean, just on JVZOO alone, like I think I've done $38 million in affiliate revenue just on like projects I was partnered with over the last like 8 years. So yeah, that's kind of the story. Like that's kind of like the origin of really the last 12 years of where I've been.
Yeah. How did you even like become ClickFunnels affiliate manager then?
Yeah. So what it was, there was a few of us that did it. So what happened is, they were just reaching out, and it was like basically based off like a second tier thing. And then it was just my affiliate base that just generated most of the sales on that set of stuff. So that was that was kind of the main thing. And then when you're like the top kind of like referral guy, then you basically just are able to like have the banner officially as like, hey, if you need help, like this guy, like, because you just have the best campaigns. And the key thing for me, and this is like for anyone out there listening, it's like, a lot of people like talk about service businesses. I think like the affiliate management service business is like the best one, because like a lot of people think it's just building relationships, but I actually like wrote emails. I built my own JV pages. Like I was like the most prepared guy.
Yeah.
So when I was like reaching out to, and to be fair, we could give commission bumps. So it was like better than just going direct line. So we had this like internal link, and that was really like just how I just kind of, and it was very much like elbow to elbow against the guys. There's huge guys managing that stuff, you know, like people who have way better relationships than I did, but they just couldn't get the volume because they just weren't making the affiliates' lives easy. Like, dude, I built a software that they could integrate like their Aweber, get response, whatever they think, that they could one click upload the emails I'd written. Like, it just made it super easy. Yeah. We just made it like super. I went on Fiverr, found a guy, and like I was like, hey, like, can you find a way to integrate that I can upload, like, and it was like basically it's called the bonus page generator. You put your ID in, it would create you like a custom bridge page and upload a 7-day campaign right into Aweber, and then you just hit start and it starts mailing your whole list.
You made it super easy for them.
Super easy, dude. That was like, yeah. And then that's like my reputation was just like, he has the best strategy. He has like, and that's kind of blew from there. And then I realized like ClickFunnels doesn't pay the best second tier. And then I just was like, okay, now I'm going to go and take people. And then that's when me and Luke started doing
Which launch was that for ClickFunnels?
The second one. The second one. No. The actual software.
Oh, the actual software.
The actual software. Yeah. It was the actual software. And most people know Russell Story, like, they don't really sell well ClickFunnels, like, without the info at the start.
Yeah.
I think Ben talked about that at the event recently. Ben Harris, like, who is technically he's a business development guy there, so technically affiliate manager. It's just a corporate way of saying affiliate manager, I think.
Yeah.
I love Ben. And, like, yeah, they basically do like the book stuff and that then, and Ben's been there a couple of years and he's doing great.
Because Russell said like he grew ClickFunnels from affiliates, he said.
Yeah. I mean I think like most of the, like, especially in our space, I think like it's the only business model where you just go from 0 to $1 million in like a week. Like, I mean, there's this, I mean, it de-risks, but it's also a huge win-win. Like, you're helping, there's so many people out there that don't want to fulfill. It's like, it's just such a business model. And don't get me wrong, we've all been there. Like, I've been here 12 years. Like, you get sick of it. Like, but when you really look at the core, it's like, it's no risk. Affiliates are happy because they're making money and they don't have to fulfill. As long as you have a good product, you're fulfilling for them. It's like, it's a match made in heaven. Like, they're building the list on a regular basis. You don't have to worry about ads, the fluctuation, ad account shutdown. There's a lot to it, right? And I think affiliate world is like, yeah, like you look at, I'm trying to think, like Brunson, go high level now, all softwares, a lot of info businesses. You look at like, you know, Nicholas and those guys, like they're running ads. Like you look at Nicholas' story, you know, it's January now. Like he started ads 4 months ago. He's been doing this in 2016.
Yeah.
Like, it's all affiliates, you know? So, yeah, like, some of the biggest people, new and old, built their whole business on affiliates. You know, like, when I first came up, there was a syndicate. Frank Kuhn, Dice, Mike Long. Like, these guys were all in a syndicate. They were building their businesses all off affiliates. Like, you look at the OMG. OMG has only ever been affiliates. They've never turned, I don't know if this could be wrong, but, like, I don't think they've ever turned an ad. I've never seen a OMG ad.
Yeah.
You know, that's, and, you know, maybe I'm aging myself a little bit here. OMG's like been around, dude, the OMG's been around for like 20 years. It's one of the best products out there. I think like Luke McGuire started at OMG, you know, like Kevin did, like all those guys. So like, yeah, like they all, and OMG's probably done like $1 billion in the last 10 years on info products, SEO specifically, and it's all affiliates. All affiliates. It's insane.
Wow, it's risk-free traffic. It's good for the affiliate. I like being an affiliate. You know? I don't like to fulfill. The only thing I fulfill is my clients, and that's it. Like info product, I'm an affiliate. I don't touch.
Yeah, I love that.
But how did you go into like paid ad space specifically then? Yeah,
so what it was is it kind of bolted on to my affiliate marketing services. So what you know, basically just playing around. I was doing some affiliate stuff too. So I was building my own list, and what we were doing at the time, this is how long ago it was. It was like we did the 1 cent likes on the Facebook page. I don't know if you remember those, like 1 cent likes on the Facebook page. Build those up, and then you know push people to the link that was basically in the bio. Like people thought link in the bio was like an Instagram thing. It wasn't. It was like a whole thing in Facebook fan pages. And so we built the list that way. And what I realized is that those pages were doing pretty good, and then we started running retargeting ads during our launches. That's what it was. So we started running and we were like, whoa, this is a crazy uplift. Like 30% of our sales were coming from retargeting. Now, we did naked links, so always credited the affiliate as long as cookies weren't wiped. So like affiliates loved us. Like we carried running the retargeting ads basically after launch. So a lot of affiliates were like, dude, I'm still making like $1,000 paydays like a week after launch because your ads are still going. So that's how it started. And then I just started doing more retargeting. So I did like Facebook, then I did Google retargeting, and then I went into like native ads. So that was basically the 2016 stuff that we learned. And then I met Tai Lopez, or I met Ben, his brother, at TNC 2017 in San Diego. And
TNC's traffic and conversion.
yeah, traffic and conversion, rest in peace, that thing's done. But like, met Ben there, and Tai was doing a deal with JVZOO, and I got introduced. This is why I love JVZOO, and like, it's like not just, it's changed my whole life. But so Laura, the CEO, was there, now co-owner. They introduced me to Tai, and then Tai basically palmed me off to his brother, right? Like, that's how it works, right? So, and then at the time, Tai had the place in San Diego, and then Ben was like, hey, come down to the thing. And I was just in the beach house, and then they were doing ads. They were doing, like, Tai's always done search ads and all that stuff. And then they were running affiliate stuff. They basically were running affiliate stuff, and they had so many members, and they were like, how do we up our traffic? How do we get stuff in front of people? I said, oh, just retarget like the members. And then they were like, you know how to do that? And I literally sat there for like 3 hours with Ben and Tai, like setting up retargeting ads. They knew how to do it, but they just didn't understand like they should be retargeting the members and everything, just because they were looking for higher touch points.
Yeah.
So that's how it started, and that's truly how it started. And then we did stuff with Tai, like we did SRMA, we did 67 steps back in the day, like everything from there. And then we started doing the affiliate marketing with paid ads. And then I had a crazy Skype message. This is how like the agency really started. I had a Skype message from an old copywriter that worked for my old boss, Alex Jeffries. So like 4 years later, Josiah, I'm starting a financial publishing ladder. I know you have a team of devs. Can you build me a WordPress membership? It's like, yeah, bro, I got you. No sweat. Like, I got a junior right here. Let's see what you can do. Company called Wealth Press. They had affiliates. Again, they started with affiliates. So they had basically guys called. He partnered with a guy called Morgan. He had financial publishing newsletters. We also had like a website like Bloomberg, but not Bloomberg. You know what I mean? Like where they would just give stock news. Yeah. So they had this affiliate list, basically. So we built the members area, built the little website, built the VSL holder, like, did it. And we didn't charge them anything. I was like, no, dude, I got you. Like, I'm trying to support small businesses. Like, let's go. Like, and then he called me back and was like, yeah, dude, we did $500,000. I was like, what? I was like, wow, what do you mean? And it was like 2018. I was like, $500,000. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, dude, how did you get on? And then he's like, Travis. So then I said, one thing you guys should do is you should do retargeting to all the traffic. And he was like, oh, we don't know how to do that. He's like, will you do it for us? I was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. I was like, hey, I'll do it, but I want 10% of profit on the thing. Yeah. I didn't even do like 10% spend. I did 10% profit because I was like, let me get in some like truly a partner. He was like, yeah, dude, no sweat. Like literally, like, no way. Yeah, easy. Like you build this thing for free. I was like, okay, sweet. That was like the February of 2018, I think. 2018, 2019. I can't remember the year, but I think it was like November 2017. So yeah, it was February 2018. By May of 2018, they were doing $3.5 million.
Wow.
A month. Like
a month.
A month. Dude, it was nuts. We got that company up to like 68 million run rate a year. And it was all ads. Like we went from retargeting to this, and then that's when I started getting introduced to Agora brands. So like if you don't know what Agora is, like I think they're still the biggest info publishing company. I don't think Masterclass or anything's caught up with them yet. But because they're so diverse and they're worldwide. Then I started getting introduced to like, they call them publishers, but they're technically the CEOs of each like franchise. So Agora has like a central, and then they have like all these franchises that they own, like different companies, like Oxford Club, I think so, Banyan Hair, like all these, and they're all financial, but they also have like real estate and stuff.
Yeah.
We only worked in the financial publishing space. And then we were just getting hired. Like we were just getting hired, and we were taking percentage of spend, but also we were doing like lead deals. So we would say we'll charge $8 a lead, and then whatever we bought them for, we would take the profit in between. We did a lot of ad creatives, a lot of landing pages. One thing we did that was really smart was we did prepaid spend. We wouldn't spend in their account.
Yeah.
We'd spend in our account because it was already learned to that audience. So what we started doing, we started building like financial publishing ad accounts, BizOp ad accounts, and then we would take the presets because we already had the audience learned. Like, because that's one of the biggest things with ad accounts is the learning cycle, getting up to spend. Like, people could come in and like we could take them from 0 to $500,000 a month spend in 45 days.
Wow.
Because we had the learning.
Yeah.
Like they were all buying office software. So we had this like merge of data. And we were just doing it different. Like the setup time was 0. We didn't have to rely on them. We were using our own pages, and all they would give us was a webhook. It was like insane. So we were so fast to move. Agora loved that. Like they were just like, yes, yes. And then we just got introduced to everyone. And then from there, we built in the relationships. Like we ended up doing some investor relations stuff, which if you don't know what that is technically called IR. It's where companies hire you and you write basically reviews about the company's performance, stock-wise, like all that stuff. And then you're basically pushing it out to people who buy stocks on a regular basis and trying to convince them to invest in that company. So that's, there's disclaimers, we got paid. There's rules around that, insider trading, all that stuff. Like I couldn't own, if a company hired us, I couldn't own any of that stock for at least 6 months. So like, even though before they come to me, like I'd have to look in my portfolio. I'd even have to reach out to my to my finance manager. Like how they just buy stuff. I had to ask them, like to be like, hey, is this ticker like anywhere in our portfolio? And if it lost it, and then I had to make sure my team weren't buying the stock before we run campaigns. Like so, if they ever got found out that they had like come out, so there's a lot of that. So that's a really dicey place to be, but it's very lucrative. Yeah. So that's really the agency stuff. That's where the media buying came from. We built that. And then we did BizOp stuff, of course, all the time with that stuff. We worked for like Tiny Brenda, we worked for Ty still. Still to this day, we work with Ty. We do a lot of, JVZOO customer stuff to grow. We've built SaaSes. So yeah, that's the agency stuff and the ad spend. But it's always been all birthed from affiliate marketing.
Do you think Ty's success and his like fame is because of paid ads?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I think it just amplifies it so much quicker. I'll tell you this. This is one thing I see a lot is, like people go viral, like a video or something goes viral, and they don't like back it up with paid ads. Ty like backs it up really quick, like because he's already running it. Like a lot of people don't realize like your ads become way more effective when you got something going viral. It's like I just had this conversation with Adley. She's the most viral woman in the world. I was like, you just gotta like run ads for something. Like she has a program coming. I was like, always run those ads, and when shit goes viral, like keep going. Like I think that's the biggest. It just amplifies it, and then it extends the length of the organic. Because like when Here in My Garage went viral, they were already spending like $50,000-$60,000 a month on ads. Like they were still trying to figure it out, and then now the ads are like, wait. Dude, that ad was converting at like 4% last month. Now it's at like 24%. Because of the organic. Now he's getting reach. So, yeah, I think the paid ads is a game changer when you pair it with that organic. Like, you know this in business. Like, you have to do everything, but it's hard to stay focused. Like, because you want to do everything. But yeah, like, I think pairing that stuff up is huge because you're doing it anyway.
Yeah. But one of the things you just said was like you spend money on a platform and then you retarget on everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a spider web in a sense.
Yep.
Right? So can you explain more in detail what the process looks like?
Yeah, and I think that's the key. So like a lot of people used to come to us and do like, they'd be like, oh, we're killing it on Meta, but we're capped out or something. And I said like Meta's growth is like your Meta ads only grow when people join the platform. And then say like someone signs up for a Facebook or Instagram account, it takes that Instagram account like a few months to like certain things. Like it's all on the user. So they're trying to build a port. So what I found this out years ago. I realized this years ago that like one niche has more searches in an hour, right, than Facebook has in a day signups in all across the world, right? So like a hot niche like how to make money online. Like how to make money online gets searched more in an hour than new people who join Instagram and Facebook in a day. Like,
wow.
So you're thinking about it. Like,
but it makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, of course, because it's just a term, right? And that's not just Google. That's Google, YouTube, like, and all the other, because like Google, like, you don't realize how many search engines are like powered by Google. Like, you don't realize like there's a lot of like data they own, especially now with AI as well. So what we did is we basically all our top of funnel or new audience, right? I don't know when top of funnel became a thing. It's like such a weird term, but like a new audience. So when we were trying to find a new audience, we would put the keywords in Google, run engagement campaigns on search, on YouTube, on display, in Gmail inbox. We would run and we would basically generate as many clicks as we can or view it. And then what we would do is we'd retarget those clicks and those traffic, depending on where they kind of ended up in the funnel. If they were just like they signed up for the webinar and then didn't attend, like we would run the retargeting ads on the rest of the platform. And what we would do then is it just made our advertising so much cheaper, but way, way more effective, like crazily way more effective. So what we do is like we always tell people like you said, it's the spider method that we do, and then we just get really, really aggressive because what happens is like this funnel of new people is so full. Like, I mean, like think of, I always picture, I think there's like on a slide deck I have somewhere, it's like, have you seen those trains in like India and Pakistan when they're like squeezing? That's literally what it is. Like they're all trying to jam down
on the side of the train.
Yeah,
right,
exactly. And that's the effect that you have with Google because it's just like, new people come. It's insane how many people search for stuff. And then what's cool about it is there's two big searches on Google right now. One that isn't too related to our space, which is near me, like food near me, laundry near me. That's like the number one search, I believe, like term that's regular. And then the other one is how to. Yeah. Like how to is insane. Like, so like, One thing I've learned is that using Google and using the spider method, you can really you can even just by keywords, just by audience, really understand where the person is in the journey and then target that person. So like, I don't necessarily want people who just search how to make money online. That's not my audience, right? But I do want people who say, how to do affiliate marketing, because that means that they've been exposed enough to understand the lingo and what affiliate marketing truly means. Now,
they're much warmer.
Yeah, like I wouldn't target what is affiliate marketing because I'm like, I need people who can already drive traffic. Yeah. But like how to do affiliate traffic or marketing on JVZOO or how to get traffic for affiliate marketing, those are people who are like 2 steps maybe down the journey from like completely noob that I need.
It's the intent.
Yeah, the intent. So you can even just with the word how to decide on how qualified you want that person to be. Yeah. And then, because you can't do that on Facebook, you can't do it on TikTok, you can't do it on native, but you can do it on Google, utilize that traffic, get the click, run engagement, and you can do it. You don't even need to set conversion ads up. Let the rest of the platforms convert. And dude, you'll have an endless audience. And like, if anyone's watching this, like you just set that up. I'm telling you, like, if your CPAs don't drop by a third, like to a third, like, I would be completely shocked. Like it's like the secret, like it's a complete secret sauce. Like it's the reason Agora could spend like 50 million in a month if they wanted to. Like it's because it was like, we are everywhere. As soon as you click a link, or as soon as you search up on Google and click our ad or watch our ad for like 75% or whatever it is, it's huge because we were cutting out like the people who were too new. Like the people who would, like how they talk about there's this people who don't know anything about it, then people who kind of understand, and all the people who are like ready to buy. Yep. Like we're only in that circle and we dominate that circle. Like we own the market share because we can bid more, which then pushes other people who don't have a strategy to live in the other circles. Yeah. And they just can't get the CPAs that we get. Like their CPMs are high and all that stuff. And I just sat with Nicholas and just kind of went through this with him. And I'm like, dude, this, like nothing else should matter except for this.
Yeah. So even the cost per click rising in Google doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I think like because it's so intent. Like it's so intent. Like, you know, for me, as you start spending, like when you get into like the 5 figures, like or 4 figures a day spending, you're not really looking at cost per click anymore. You're not really looking at. You're looking at the metric that's closest to the sale, like to the actual revenue. That's how I did. So when you first start out, when you start, you're looking at cost per click, you're looking at click-through rate. You're always looking at click-through rate because you don't want the ads to die. But when you're initially kicking off, that's what you're looking at, right? But then as you scale, you're really just looking at numbers further down the funnel, like average cart, like CPA, EPC, cost per view, cost per attendee, whatever it is. Like that's where you're kind of living. So the cost, like that stuff doesn't matter. Like my biggest thing is just getting rid of the junk. I think it's kind of, not to go sideways, but it's kind of like that, everyone's looking to build an audience, but actually, like I tell people, like, don't try to build an audience, like try and build a hateful crowd. It's the same thing here. Don't try and build like the perfect keywords. Like negative keywords is the best. Like getting rid of the words free, like stop targeting. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like just a little hint here, like stop free, complimentary, like cheap. Dude, when I start an agency account, those are like, I put those like free agency or like complimentary, like I block those for the whole account, not even just a campaign, like the whole account, they're gone. So that's like, I'm always looking for the negatives, like to get rid of the negatives before like, I'm really even thinking about like, okay, what's like the perfect keyword that my perfect customer will search? I'm always looking at like, who do I definitely don't want? Yeah. So I look at it that way.
What do you think is the most common mistake people do when they start paid ads?
Yeah, I think the most common mistake that people do is really like go just to one platform. It's like to really just start on one platform. I think they get suckered into it, and then what happens then is like the platform works, and then it stops working, and they have no clue, and they just keep like beating a dead horse. Like they just don't really understand. I think the biggest thing is, and I get why people do this, like learning the ad platforms is super overwhelming. It's very technical. Like I think I'm technical, and like Facebook Ads Manager drives me through the absolute wall. Like even pixel IDs, like how can I create more than one? It drives me insane. And I have we have an SOP for our team that I still follow to this day when I set up new accounts. Because I'm like, and then something's different, and I'm like on the phone to like one of the media buyers. I'm like, yo, when did this change? And they're like, dude, it was yesterday. It was that. What do you mean it's changed? And they log in and they're like, I'm not seeing what you're seeing because I tested. Dude, it's crazy. So I think the biggest thing a lot of people do is like they go down one platform, they beat the dead horse, they get to like $500-600 a day, and everything's working fine. They get to 1,000, it breaks, and then that's kind of, and then they're just like trying to figure that out, and they just up down. When the truth is like they just actually need to go and like diversify their traffic.
So I think it's because people always say like master one platform first. Right?
Yeah.
Right, that's the most common thing. I guess it makes sense in a way, right, to not distract you. But when it comes to like, we're not talking about mastering each platform in this case.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just talking about driving clicks from one platform where majority of the clicks come in. And then you're just retargeting. On the rest of the platforms. So it's not that.
And honestly, the platforms aren't that different from each other. Like they're complicated. But when you've kind of figured out how one works, pixels, conversions, setting
to be honest, there's only like few things you really need to know. And then the rest you just ignore it.
Like I think the big thing is like, one thing you want to remember is like a click-through rate, like a 1.2% click-through rate on Facebook might not be good. But on YouTube, it's killer. You know what I mean? Those are the only things. But you're still dealing with the same terminology. You're still setting up. You're still looking at the same numbers inside of Facebook, TikTok, native. You know what I mean? Like native. Native is a great example. My conversion rate on native from click to lead is like 1.3%. But my cost per lead is cheaper on native than it is on YouTube. You know what I mean? So like there's a volume play there that's completely different. Like
because per click is 0.00 something.
Oh, it's like nothing. It's like you're talking like it's like 8 cents. 8 cents. It's like it's insane. It's like nothing. It's like completely nothing. So like I'm paying $4 a lead on native. And you know what? Like one cool thing about native is like, it's just retargeting, right? It's like, it's a different material. So like you basically take an ad and you just turn it into an advertorial, which is like a blog post. Dude, someone who reads that and then opts in, dude, the lifetime value on that is like insane. It's like, dude, it's so insane. Even if all your stuff is video, a reader is like the best customer. Someone who will sit there and read like 300 words is just like locked in. It's insane because they actually, native, they'll come from a reading platform like Fox News, CNN, BBC. Like, that's like,
I used to run supplement ads on native.
Yeah.
And they will crush. You just write an article about it.
Yeah.
And then you have the link to buy.
Yeah. Supplements are the biggest one. Like, because when it comes to medical stuff, they're so used to consuming everything by reading.
Exactly.
Like you go to the doctor and you're like, I have this wrong with me. And they give you some new medication. They hand you a pamphlet or a leaflet with all the information. So so they're so used to reading it. So yeah, bro, like long form copy when it comes to like supplement stuff from native is like the best.
Yeah.
It's the best.
I agree.
Yeah.
So with the paid ad stuff, it's pretty interesting because you're the only guy that I've heard that actually does this. Like maybe heard of. A lot of people doing it, but I just never heard of them, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people just tell me, like Jono would tell me YouTube ads, right? Fuck the rest. Then someone guy would tell me Facebook ads. Fuck the rest. And I'm like, okay, but here you come in, nah, bro, get all the clicks and then retarget everyone. Yeah. And the thing that I notice with ads, when I run ads, the most profitable is the retargeting. Yeah. Even if it's just one platform. Yeah. If I'm retargeting them, it's way cheaper. Yeah. And I get the sale much quicker. Yeah. So it makes sense that if I go on other platforms and follow them around, you're gonna get the sale, and they always kind of get reminded of you, right? Yeah, all the time, the whole day. Yeah. Like, who the fuck's this guy now? Like, yeah, I tell you the secret. I tell you this. So like next time you're on YouTube, right? Like anyone watching this, especially based in America, like America's big. Like next time you see an ad for like an insurance company or like medical thing or like HVAC, like a big company, click the ad, right? And then click the ad, and within the next hour, go to like yahoo.com, Fox News, and have a look at the top and the side and tell me like what do you see. So I think like what you say, I think I'm a student of the biggest companies in the world. Like that's what I realized a long time ago, is that like a lot of people are the student of their own niche that they're in or their community. Yeah. Dude, I'm looking at like what's Bank of America doing? What's like Emirates doing? Like what's like insurance companies doing? Like what's Amazon doing? Like you go to Amazon now and you go to like any like magazine site, they're like all the last things that you just shopped at on the top. So I just really follow them around. That's what I'm trying to look for. That's kind of where I learned. And like I think, and I'll say this, I have a little bit of an advantage over some media buyers. Like most media buyers probably haven't managed more than like 30, 40K, like good ones a day, right? I've spent $1 million on one campaign in a day when I was running through like a certain webinar. Like, so I've been blessed to learn by other people spend. So like I've seen like when you get past just for one account, so you're running one account, one offer, when you get to 10 to 15K in one platform, like it forces you to diversify. You have to diversify. Like you're actually forced to. Like you're like bullied by the spend because especially when you're trying to scale, like you can't do it in one platform. So I was very much forced into finding the spider method. Like because what it was like they were pushing me to spend more because it was crushing. They're like, figure it out, find more traffic sources. Like we just need all impressions, and that's what they were looking for. They were like, we actually want market share. That was a conversation they had. They were like, we want market share. How do we get market share? Well, we have to be everywhere. Yeah. So it kind of came from an aggressive CEO that was basically like, do better, figure this out. But don't worry, dude. Like, we have all the money in the world. Like, here's a blank fucking check. Like, I was like, oh, shit. And then what happened is we started going everywhere. And then I was like, dude, how is our cost half of what it was last month when we're spending more? And it's like, well, we're not spending more on each platform. We're actually, like, spending more, but, like, across 5. And I was like, oh, shit. This is something. And then I started documenting it, right? Started SOPing it down. And then I was like, does this work at like 80,000 a day? Like it does at 80? It fucking does. And I was like, shit. Like,
because a lot of people get scared. Like, I don't want to spend $50. I'll tell people, spend $50 on Google for the first week, build up the retargeting file, and then go and spend 10, 15 on native. Spend 25 on Facebook. Like, do that. Like TikTok, spend 20.
Yeah.
You don't, and then now you're at 100, and I'm telling you, your conversion window is going to be like zoom. So now your cash flow is up, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of it. And like that's the thing. Like we've proven this method like at $80,000 a day plus and $80 a day. Like true. Like when we started 50 and then we just did 15 here and 15 there. Like it was big for us, you know?
Yeah. It's good that you have like a lot of experience with like the big companies.
Yeah.
Because in this space, we always look at like ClickFunnels or you get what I mean? We just look at Grant
they've
Cardone.
never been successful in ads.
Like,
you know.
We just look at all these people. And then I remember in Cold Card, you were there as well, the event in France.
Yeah.
Tai Lopez was like talking about subscription service. And so he asked Philip, I think, so name me a subscription service that, you want to model. And then Philip said ClickFunnels. And Tai was like, why ClickFunnels? There's Netflix.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like, look at the big boys, not just in this space. Right? Everybody is like stuck in this traffic secrets, expert secrets.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? I'm not saying they're not a good company, but I'm just saying like there are bigger companies to model after.
Yep.
Look at Netflix, how they structured their payment plans, how they do their emails, how they do the ads.
Yep.
That would be like a much...
The price increases everything.
Exactly. So that's one thing I learned from the event and from you.
Yeah. I think that's the big thing too. It's like, is just to look at like, because the models are the same. ClickFunnels' model is the same as Netflix. Like, now they just have a broader appeal, obviously, because of the entertainment aspect, but like, it's very easy. Like, HubSpot, like even if you even just going out, like HubSpot's a way bigger company than ClickFunnels.
Yeah.
Way bigger, dude. Like they're acquiring like, what do they spend? Like $80 million on podcast acquisitions in the last like 2 years. Yeah. Like, bro, like you're a big company if you can spend $80 million cash. Yeah. Like, I think that's like a big thing. It's still in our space. Like, you look at like ClickUp and how they structure and, like they have like this direct to consumer. Let's call it like us as business owner consumers, even though it's B2B. But then they have like enterprise level things and all that kind of stuff. And I think, ClickFunnels doesn't have an enterprise level thing, does it? I don't think so. I haven't been over. Yeah, that's what I mean. So that's what I'm saying. It's like you have to look at, like even if like Louis Vuitton is on Taboola, Outbrain, like why aren't you? You know what I mean? Like they're $5,000 fucking handbags, bro. Like they're high ticket. You want to sell high ticket? And you're not following Louis Vuitton? Like it's kind of hard for me to be like, I'm selling high ticket. I'm just doing what Ty is doing. It's like he's a good guy to model because we run his ads. But like if you're like, I'm gonna do high ticket, we're gonna follow Russ Ruffino. I'm like, I haven't seen an ad from Russ Ruffino on YouTube in like fucking 5 years. Like he's on Facebook, but where do you want to be? Like I want to be the Louis Vuitton of digital marketing. Like so I'm like, okay, they sell, like their average car value at Louis Vuitton is like I think it's like $8,500.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean, bro? Like,
okay.
Like people going there, and I guess like I know people say, well, it's different. This is info or this is software. It's like it's actually better because like when you have a Louis Vuitton. What's the return on investment on that? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, we can argue like, oh, when a Rolex watch gets you more deals. I mean, in the women's space too, like they judge you on the handbag, right? Yeah. So you can argue that, but like on info, like there's going to be a direct return on your investment on that. So it should be easier to sell. You just got to convince them. So I think that's a big thing, dude. Like I think you just got to look outside of the space as often as you can. And just replicate it and you can literally run it identical.
Yeah, I agree. And they also spend like much more than me and you on research and on the marketing and the departments. They spend way more than all of us.
Dude, I tell you, the best company to follow if you want to kind of stay close to this space is Wix and GoDaddy. Watch how they compete against each other. Watch how they change their UI up. The research they do. Like if you want to like model like a subscription base. How they diversify their product selection, what is the initial ad they want to sell you on? Is it domains or how they take you from page building to, CRM system. If you want to be like, well, I don't really want to, it confuses me when I look at, Louis Vuitton versus my coaching business. Dude, go to Wix, go to GoDaddy, look at that stuff. They're probably the best two companies to model if you want to get closer to our space, especially if you're in a SaaS or and info, those are very, very good. Masterclass is pretty good. Mind Valley is another great one. So
Mind Valley is huge, man.
Massive.
For such a weird ass fucking niche. I cannot understand. But it appeals to people, right? Manifestation.
But you know one thing about Mind Valley that's super interesting? I think they get people to convert. I actually think
they do.
I mean, like to buy in. Like, I think if I watched enough Mind Valley ads, which I have, I start thinking like, dude, does this shit work? Like it starts convincing me. Like I'm about to have a spiritual awakening. Like then I have to stop and go and look at like something else. But yeah, like I don't, you know, it's like I'm never against anyone on that stuff, but like they crush, but they test more than anyone, dude. Like they test more than anyone.
Yeah.
They're like super aggressive. They definitely have the spider method going to an extent, dude. Oh my gosh, like you can see it too. You can. Google transparency is like the best space in the world. You can see their search ads, you can see their video ads, you can see their like display, and you can see when they were last served. Bro, like it's insane. Like, but yeah, like Mind Valley is a good one. But GoDaddy and Wix are the kings for me.
Wix are like everywhere, man.
Oh, everywhere, dude. Like, dude, they're even in airports.
Yeah, now that I think about it.
Dude, they're
the banners.
Yeah, the banners. Like they're so, and I generally think the airport ones are top of funnel. I think
so?
they utilize them as top of funnel. I don't think because there's no direct like correlation of a conversion. I generally believe they're using them as a touch point, but really top of funnel. I think like when you just got put on tarmac safely and then walk into an airport, there's this weird trust factor that people don't realize subconsciously, and they put those banners there. They're pairing themselves with the trust. That's what they're doing at airports.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's a mindset shift. Like, you know, like it's very, dude. It's very, very, very sharp. Like, honestly.
It's kind of like you go in and like, oh, these are the big boys now.
Yeah.
Like, then the airport.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. You're like, dude, I just saw him at the airport. 100%. Like, and I think, you know, what I tell you, let me just give one secret talking about airport and ads is like, one of my best ads that we ever run was that we got a billboard on Times Square. And we filmed the person in front of the billboard when the ad was running. Insane. Absolutely insane top of funnel. Like, dude, like the way that it just held attention, it generated us more clicks than anything I've ever seen. So like it kept it, dude. Talk about a train in India or Pakistan. Like, I mean, it was not. It was like everyone was trying to get on it. It was insane. But like, just little things like that. Dude, the billboard in Times Square cost us $300 for the day.
Wow.
It was on it was on every 6 minutes for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's insane, bro.
But everyone thinks that kind of advertising is dead.
Yeah, it's a strange. Yeah, everyone thinks traditional advertising is dead. Like I don't really. You know why? Because I think a lot of people are so scared if they can't log into their dashboard and see and like if they can't use it with Hyros. They're like, I'm out. Doesn't work, bro. It's like, I mean, does it not? It's how you use it. Like it's how you can make it. You can have an ad in Times Square.
And maybe if that's the only thing you're doing, that's not a good idea.
Yeah. 100%. I think like for me, it's like, I think a lot of people say advertising is dead. Like a lot of times, like because they can't track it. But traditional and this is one way. So if you're looking and saying like, you know what, I want to try like traditional billboards, maybe some TV slots, whatever it is. The metric to look at is brand search. So you go into analytics, set up a report on increased like keyword searches for like certain keywords.
Yeah.
Make sure those keywords are like linked to the traditional thing you're doing, and just seeing what the search volume is.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the metric. If that's up, fuck, you don't even need to worry about nothing else. Everything else will come out in the wash. That's the key. I think that's what it is. People just don't know how to measure traditional.
Yeah.
They want to measure it by $1, but it's not true. Like they have to measure it by like uplift in brand search. That's it.
Got it. Okay, man. Let's shift to something else.
Yeah.
I want to know, why did you move from UK to the US?
Fuck, that's a good question.
Well, was it Wales or UK?
Wales, yeah, Wales. But
right.
it's still part of the UK. Yeah. I mean, I think for me, so kind of goes back to Alex Jeffries too, my first boss. He moved. He moved. My first ever trip to the US was when I was 16. Went out there to play rugby with my college team. Loved it, dude. I mean, we went to LA, Santa Monica. It was like time of my life. Me and Gareth Davis, he's like Welsh rugby star, one of the best rugby players in the world. Me and him Fuck, we shared a bed for 7 days. It was like a really cheap trip because we were there on scholarship, so like they paid for our stuff. There was a hot tub in this motel. So funny, down in Santa Monica Pier. Such a funny story. I'm going to tell the story too often, so I'm going to take this chance. And we filled. Remember, like a Christmas? It was like right after Christmas. You always just get like these links, like these like shower gel and aftershave sets, right, from like your grandparents or whatever. We both had one, and we emptied the whole thing in the jacuzzi, right, in the hot tub. And then 5 minutes later, 3 cop cars pull up, flashing lights. We turn around. It's windy. We had shut down basically the highway because all the bubbles were blowing into the highway, right? And it's in the US. And then me and Gareth and a guy called Kiddo and a guy called Aled, Welsh names, we ended up having to leave the hotel. Our coaches were furious. Ended up staying at one of the other coaches' house, sneaking out with his daughter and her friends to party, and I was like, I'm moving here. I remember saying it. I'm like, I'm leaving, bro. I'm never coming back. I'm leaving. And subconsciously, I was like, I'm always, and I did. I wanted to move there. I did some wild stuff. Like, even when I was like 18, before I went to college, I actually like applied to do like Camp America. There's this thing where you basically apply, you get accepted, and then you come and basically do the camps. Like, you're basically like a teacher in the camps for the kids. Yeah. Got completely rejected from that. Not sure why. I just did. But anyway, so then I took the job, and then Alex moved. He moved over to the States, and then I realized, like, okay, that's where the business is. Like, that's where it is. All the events were there. Yeah. So in 2017, when things were really, I started to make really good money. I was like, okay, I'm going to start the process for it. Came over basically for a year back and forward, set the company up, and then kind of educated myself on the E2, and we started just picking up more American clients. Like, that's what it was. We were picking up more American clients. People were just saying yes more. Like, we would pitch like our agency services or our affiliate marketing services to British people, even British coaches. Like, people know, like Dan Bradbury, like Nick James, these guys. We would pitch them. They would just say no, and then we would go and pitch like US people like Justin Burns, even Luke, Australia, but like Justin Burns. And US, and they would just say yes, and they would just pay me the $10,000 retainer, like on the call. Wow. Yeah. The UK. So I realized then I needed to move to the US.
Which state did you move?
So I moved to Florida. I started moving to Florida, and now I'm in South Carolina. And the reason I went up to South Carolina is because Laura Costman, CEO of JVZOO, realized what I was doing for the users, and I was making them a lot of money. They were like, I was only taking like 20-25% of this stuff, but I was like the main reason people were supporting it and crushing it. So she basically helped me and mentored me. She was like really my first mentor that mentored me into like keeping more of my money, like asking for higher prices, like, you know, building these packages out and she basically helped me become a millionaire, like cash in the bank millionaire. So that's when I moved up to South Carolina. But I was always going to the States. Subconsciously, I had in my head after that like rugby trip that I was like, I'm moving there. It was like the greatest country ever. And I still believe it too. I mean, like here, Dubai's great. I think Dubai is like it's my favorite place to be a community. But the US, dude, the opportunity, the money that flies around. Like, dude, we literally right before I came to Dubai, we had one meeting in New York with this guy that has $1 million a week budgets, and he was just like, "Yeah, here you go. We just want you guys to do it." We're gonna take 10% of that spend. That's $100,000 a week. So like you in Dubai, you can get deals done, but it's like $10,000, $15,000 a week. Like over there, bro, like there's just there's rooms that exist in America that just don't exist anywhere else in the world. Yeah. And the money, I think there's more billionaires per like capita than any other country in the world, right? Like, and there's 300 million people. Like, so people are like, yeah, of course, there's more people, but no, it's like per million people, there's more billionaires in America than anywhere else. And that's I think that's the main reason I moved over there. It was just more yeses, more opportunity. Things were cheaper as well. Like tax in the UK was crazy. Like it's crazy. Like US still the same. It's not Dubai, but like tax in the UK was really. I was living in London too. I mean, you got city tax, you got council tax. Like, I mean, I was paying 47%. You know, like on the dollar after 60K. Like 47 pence of your pound was going to taxes with no extra benefits, right? Like no extra, like, you know, you're starting to pay for your own private healthcare and stuff. So like, it just kind of makes sense to move.
Yeah.
So like in America, like if you're earning less than $100,000 a year, it's tough. Like there's no real support, right? But when you're earning more, you kind of get to choose what to spend your money on. And there's a lot more loopholes and that kind of stuff. And there's a lot more things. Now I could be wrong. Like I'm not a tax expert, but like I spend a lot. I get to keep more of my $1 million living in the US than I do in the UK. And that was my main one. Now I could come here and keep even more. But what I do is more business. I don't know. I think it's, and we're spending a lot of our time here anyway. Like, I mean, this is my 8th trip in 12 months, you know, and I love being here. Like all the boys are here too. So I love it. But yeah, America's really,
there's a lot of money flowing, right? New York, Manhattan, that area.
Yeah. I mean, all the way down, like all the way down that East Coast, like you live on the coast, like all the way down, like a buddy of mine, his wife hates New York so much, but he's like runs a law firm up there. Dude, he commutes by private jet every day because his wife doesn't like living in the city, so she lives in South Carolina.
What?
Yeah, like he commutes like not every day, 3 times a week. He goes up Monday, stays like Monday night, stays Tuesday night, comes back to Wednesday, and then sometimes he has to go up on Friday and do some stuff on the weekend. But yeah, dude, like they just own a jet and they just commute. Like they commute. It's a 55-minute flight, and then he uses Blades, the helicopter, to go in and out of the office. Yeah. Like, and he says, it costs him about $3,500 a day every time he takes a flight.
Crazy.
Yeah. Crazy. So, yeah, it's just that stuff. And don't get me wrong, it happens here. But how many people do you actually get to meet, play golf with, eat a burger with, that can do that? Like, I think there's more of a closer connection because you can just go into a bar and just be sat next to a billionaire. Like, it's just... Yeah. As long as you're confident enough to be like, hey, what are you doing? Like, it's just here. It's like there's secret clubs, even in Europe. Even like London's the same. London's the same, very much like America. Like, there's a lot of money that floats around in there. I just haven't found it like here, but I love living there. And I think with the election of just what happened, I think it's going to be a ripping 4 years for everyone. Even you don't even have to live in America. I think it's going to be ripping for everyone. Like, as long as you're doing business with people in America, you're going to be cooking. Yeah.
Are you optimistic about the future
Massively,
of America?
Yeah, hugely. I mean, yeah, like there'd be bumps in the road, but like, yeah, I think I'm optimistic really for the world. Like, I mean, executive orders went in yesterday, like just straight stuff. I'm not massively political, but like some of the stuff that was signed, it's just like, how is that not good for our back pocket? Like, and I truly believe like you shouldn't have to worry about what the government's doing. Yeah. And I was worried about I have money, dude. We all like, I mean, I shouldn't need to worry, but I was worried. Like, I was like, what's going on? Like, what's the school system look like? Like, why is there cat litter boxes in the corner of schools? Like, what's going on? Like, and that was like a reality that we just went through the last like 4 years. So I'm very optimistic for it. I'm very, like, and really just from a business side. I'm not like, everything else that goes, I only look at it from like a very selfish point of view. Like Brexit, like I'll say this out here, but like I voted out, and people are like, why? Why did you have to do that? I'm like, because all my money was in dollars, and if we went out, the British pound would tank, and I would literally get a 26% pay rise. Yeah, and they were like, what? And that's, dude, overnight I made like, if I had $130,000 in PayPal, and like, it was worth like 25% more the next day. Wow. And I just made a selfish decision. Like, I didn't know, I didn't ever think it was going to happen, but I just was like, I read the policies and I go, okay, I generally believe people should always be selfish when voting because that's my belief. So I was very selfish in voting that. And yeah, we ended up going out. But I always look at, so selfishly when I looked at the election, I can't even vote. Just I can't vote in America. I'm not a citizen. I just have a visa. So like if people look at me like, that guy voted for Trump, I didn't. I wasn't even allowed. Probably would have, but whatever. Yeah. It's just, that's where we're at. That's where we're really at with it. But yeah, I'm really optimistic. I'm really excited for it.
Is London as unsafe as what people say on the media?
No. I mean, I was just there for a month. I mean, everywhere has their horror stories. I mean... A lot of the rough areas when I was there are like super cleaned up now. Like it's no unsafer than Paris, Rome, Berlin. Yeah. Like you have to have your wits about you. Like the crazy stories about the watch stuff is nuts. Like I don't know. I don't know how true some of those are. Like chopping off people's arms in Hyde Park. I mean, bro, I never witnessed stuff. I think the biggest thing when I was there in 2016, 2017, and even when I was there recently, if something was happening, more people would step in. Less people do that. I think that's the biggest thing. I think people have to grow a little bit of a pair. Like I was there the other day, and like some guy came running in and bundled some girl like on the tube, kind of by accident, but was kind of just being boisterous. And I was like, yo, bro, like stop. Like, what are you doing? Like, apologize. Yeah. No one does that anymore. Like people were shocked that I was even speaking up. I think that people are a little bit scared of that. I mean, like, so I'm a little like London is. I love London, dude. We're there in the middle of looking at houses there too, just to have a second home there. It's the greatest city when the sun is out in the summer, dude. It's so good. Yeah. Everything's good there. Great for business. Beautiful parks. Like they've got it down. The culture's really good. I don't think it's unsafe as people think. But like I think everything ebbs and flows. Like London, is it? Jack the Ripper is like one of the most famous things in the world. I think like there's always stuff that goes on in cities. There's always going to be dangerous. I think it's just a watch culture. Like watch culture's so live. Like watches are getting stolen all the time over there. Like I mean, you just have to be smart about it. Like if you're going out and you want to be dressed up, maybe don't walk. Just get a black car over there. You know what I mean? Like when I go out and I'm dressed up, then I'm taking someone out for dinner and we're going to the show. And I want to wear my watch and I want to be nice. And the girl's coming with me and she has a $10,000 handbag. Like, we're probably just going to get a car. We're not going to use the tube. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. We actually did catch the tube back. But I feel safe in London. I know where the dangers are. And yeah, there's a lot of police standpoint. I love London.
Yeah.
It's not as safe as Dubai. Like if you compare it to Dubai,
Dubai is different.
Yeah,
right?
if you compare it to Dubai, London is a war zone.
People are scared shitless like, to do anything.
Yeah. In Dubai, I'll tell you this: like, if you compare it to Dubai, London's a fucking war zone. Like honestly, like, but so is New York and even Sydney. Like, but Dubai is like the safest place in the world. Like, I love it here. Yeah. Like, I mean, I've been kind of still on Eastern time zone, and we're staying in Business Bay, and there's like Café de Paris, like right around the corner. It's 24 hours. So we went there the other night, me and Mikey, my UI guy, and we worked till like 4:20 in the morning. And I was like, dude, I got to crash. Let's go. And like people, like girls are walking home. You know what I mean? Like you would never see that in London. You know what I mean? Like they're looking to get in cabs and stuff. But yeah, here I love how safe it is here.
It's fucking safe. Like,
it's unbelievable.
And I'm from Singapore, so it's super safe in Singapore, right?
Damn, yeah.
So when I was meeting all of these like Americans and like Germans, and then they said like, we don't like girls don't walk around at night alone, like at 2 a.m., 1 a.m. Right? And I was like, what? Why? I was like thinking like in Singapore it's so normal. You can walk anywhere. And it's like nothing's gonna happen to you. Like in Dubai as well, nothing's gonna really happen to you. But so it's like a very foreign concept to me. Like a city could be like, okay. Like
and it's all about level of punishment too, right? Like I think that's what it is. I think that's what changed. Like I'd say like, I think I was speaking to like an older guy the other day and said like London was the safest in the 70s or whatever.
Yep.
Because like, dude, like if you like did something stupid, police would just beat you in the street. Yeah. Like, I mean, I remember when I first like that, it was just punishment. Like people were like, now they just don't get punished for nothing. It's like insane. You know what I mean? Like, and also like, there's this risk if you stand up and do something that you could end up in jail over someone else. Like that whole thing that happened in the London Underground. The guy actually got like, the guy spent like 96 days in jail waiting for his court case and then gets freed. It's like, because he was like, because the guy was kicking a woman, he choked him out and the guy died. Like, so there's, I think that, but yeah, like living in Singapore, like you say, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, like those, it's just being decent humans. It's really strange. But yeah, like I think it's the punishment side of things.
It's the punishment,
Stops you from thinking it like, humans will be humans. There has to be consequences for like bad actions. But the big cities just don't do it anymore.
Awesome, man. So let's play a little game. It's very easy, bro. So I'm going to give you two options and you have to choose one answer. Yeah. You can explain your answer if you want to. Okay. It's very short. Don't worry.
Oh, good.
Tai Lopez or Russell Brunson?
Tai Lopez. Mainly because of diversification. Like, I generally believe Russell's very successful. Ty's been successful in many different things. And I like his lifestyle, too. The lifestyle of moving around suits me a lot. And he's been really good to me. So biasly, yeah, Thai.
Thai. Pizza or burger?
Burger.
Yeah, I know you love a good burger.
Burger, yeah. You love a good burger.
I remember. It was so big.
I thought that was gonna be the most expensive burger and then when I saw it, it actually felt like it was the cheapest burger I've ever seen because it was so big.
It was huge.
Yes, burger, 100%.
Facebook ads or Google ads?
Google ads, mainly because as I explained, if people watch the whole thing, like it's just that flow of like I don't have to rely on Facebook bringing new people for me. Like Google is actively making sure that everyone searches on their platform through AI or whatever it is. I love it. Yeah.
Kamala or Trump?
Trump. I mean, I think that's self-explanatory for sure.
I've never heard a business owner in Dubai that didn't say Trump, actually.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the world. I don't think anyone's. I mean, they just. Yeah. I don't know any business that would have voted that way. I'm wrong, but someone's probably watching I did. But I mean, not in my space.
Not in my space as well. USA or UK?
USA. I think for that is like the weather, number one. Like weather, opportunity. Dude, things are so much bigger. I'd hate to drive the Porsche around London.
Yeah.
Just to do like the roads, like honestly, like, and like just like freedom and taxes, I think. Yeah, US. But I'm very proud Welshman. Like generally I'm a very proud Welshman. I don't go back enough, but I do. Yeah, like, I mean, dude, like you can do this in Europe, but like you can be skiing in the afternoon in Aspen and then tomorrow morning be on the beach in Florida. Like it's without.
There's a lot of things to do in the US.
Dude, so much.
Makes sense.
And you can live like, you can move to a state and like, this is one thing about America. Let me just think on that. This is a cool thing about America, but also something cool. Like here in Dubai, you can drive down the road and like 15 of us can have dinner and we're all doing fucking $1 million months, right? Like there's this community. But in America, you kind of have to travel. Like you have to go like I go to Austin a lot to hang around with people. I go to like LA, which is really, really cool. Which then lets you like, you can actually live where you want and not miss out. Like if you lived in Dubai or lived in UAE and lived in Abu Dhabi, you'd kind of miss out on a lot of stuff. You'd have to come up here a lot. In America, like things are very organized and everyone flies in. So you can literally pick the state you want to live in. Like I live in South Carolina. People ask why. It's like, well, it's like further up than Florida. It gets all 4 seasons. Like they have an ice storm right now. So I don't even know if I'm going to get home, but like no big deal. But everyone's flying in, right? So you don't miss out on opportunities. It's very organized. And like I live on the ocean. My house is like, cost me like $390,000. I bought it for the boom, so whatever. But my house in Miami is like $4.5 million.
Oh.
Right? But like I don't miss out on the Miami stuff because I just fly down there when there's actually an organized event.
Yeah.
Because all they do in Miami is go to the club and flex.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that. But when there's like, when guys are flying in, it's like the boys from Dallas will fly in, the boys from Austin will fly in, the LA boys will fly in. It's like a really put together thing. And when you're in South Carolina, like Nashville's an hour away, New York's an hour away, like a lot of that stuff is done. So that's why the US is so powerful because you don't need to be in New York and spend $30,000 a month in rent to still have the business connections that you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is big. I always tell everyone, every time someone's like, what should I do? I'm like, dude, get your E2 investor visa. You don't even need to live there, but you can come and go for 6-7 months. You can have like Social Security. You can set up like everything's a lot easier. Tax planning. Yeah. I always tell everyone should just get their E2 visa. It costs you like $7,000 in attorney fees and like maybe $50,000 in investment, which is like nothing. And you can literally get PayPal account, Stripe account. Business just flows so much easier. I always tell people just to do it.
Miami or Dubai?
Dubai for sure. Like, and kind of just like what I said, it's like the network here. Like, bro, for example, like Miami, everyone's trying to outdo each other. Here, dude, I genuinely believe everyone's trying to help each other.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely believe, like, I just sat down with Nicholas. He paid like $30 for lunch, and I was like, hey, do this right, that's right. And then he was like, you should do this at JVZOO. Like, and like he sees stuff. And then like the other day, I'm like, Luca texted me and Razvan texted me, and they were like, yo, bro, if you're flying through this airport, use this service so you don't need to go through this, and this. It's like in Miami, dude, everyone's like, well, I don't want to show him that. Then he'll have that on his Instagram, and then it won't look as cool. And like, it's weird, bro. Like it's a weird flex down there. Like I don't hate the place, but I mean, it's like
dude, people in Miami are like making 100,000, spending 90.
Yeah.
It's true. It's expensive too. Like,
Expensive,
don't get me wrong,
yeah.
it's dude, everywhere in Miami is expensive. Like in New York,
But it's also the culture, right?
yeah, the culture. Yeah, of course, the culture. I mean, like, yeah, dude, like the boys who live down there, who I massively respect, like a lot of them are down there to avoid taxes, right? But like, it's expensive, you know, and then you're just flexing down there. It's all the flex, dude. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, and look who you're competing against, right? Like Dave Portnoy, Dana White, the Nelk boys, like, dude, those guys have like endless cash.
Yeah.
Like Dana White has like endless cash. Like, and that's what it is. Like, he literally talks about like, he uses money. Have you seen his podcast? Like, he uses money for fun. And he's like, the most place I can have fun is Miami. And he spends crazy money down there.
Yeah.
Like NFL, like UFC comes to town, like where he has a lot. Bro, you're talking, you know, like Trump is in there. People like, dude, people spend like $180,000 like a seat just to get it. Like, no, bro, it's like, it's a weird flex. I mean, it's just silly.
Working solo or partnerships?
Dude, that's such a good question. Damn, I've bought so many people out of partnerships. Bro, that's hard. It's hard. I'm in partnerships and I have solo stuff. I'm gonna kind of get it. The right partnership.
Okay.
It's hard. Like, but it's hard because you don't know the right partnership. It's so hard, dude. I'll tell you this, like, I like to have control, but my biggest projects have always done well in partnerships. But I've also lost the most money having partnerships. I mean, the right partnership. I mean, that's fucking tough, dude. I mean, case by case basis. That's one of those where I'm like, it's like a bit of a non-answer.
Okay.
It's a non-answer. It's just hard. I mean,
But I get it because
it's super
I made
hard.
a lot of money from partnerships, but I also lost the most amount of money.
And I've been the most frustrated when I've had partnerships.
Yeah. It depends who you're with, actually. It really depends.
Yeah, it's really hard. It's really, really hard, yeah.
Morning person or night owl?
Fuck, depends what continent I'm on. Morning person generally.
Yeah.
Dubai, night person.
Yeah.
Because I think it's because of the US time zone, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, you have to be a night person in Dubai, I feel.
Yeah, everyone goes out at night, bro.
Dude,
Dinner starts at 9.
Yeah, and I woke up the other day, a little jet lagged, at like 6 a.m. And like, I didn't see anyone till like 11 a.m. Like, I mean, like, just general population. I was like in the mall at 9, the mall of Dubai, and I might have walked like 2 miles in there. I might have walked past like 8 people who weren't staff.
Wow.
Like legit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I was like shocked. Like even like they were just opening stuff up, and I was like, dude, like the malls in the US like packed out at 9, you know? So yeah, it was, but I'm a morning person generally, but in Dubai, definitely at nighttime.
Nice,
Yeah.
Last question, Bitcoin or gold?
Because he didn't say anything in his speech, gold. Because he was meant to say, everyone thought he was going to go nuts on the Bitcoin stuff because he just did the coin, Trump, but gold for me.
Gold?
Yeah, gold for me right now. I mean, I know so many people who've made lots of money from gold and actually hold the cash. I don't know many people who've made that much money from Bitcoin and actually own cash and not Bitcoin. So the fact that Bitcoin could crash tomorrow if one guy, whatever his name, that one wallet that owns, what is he holding, like 35% of Bitcoin or whatever?
Like
yeah, whatever
the
it is.
original guy.
The crypto guys will comment under this like, no, it's fucking whatever. But yeah, I think like because of the stabilization of it, I think gold is is going to be my answer on that. Bitcoin's a great investment strategy. I'm never against it. I have some Bitcoin. But yeah, if I had to pick, I'd pick gold all day long. The Federal Reserve still backs its dollar against it. And Trump didn't mention nothing about Bitcoin yesterday, so I know that riled some people up. But yeah, like honestly, I'm going gold every time.
Awesome, man.
It looks cooler too.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, man, if you could leave our listeners with just one piece of advice about business, life, or mindset, what would it be?
I think the biggest thing is definitely look outside of the space. Like when you're trying to educate yourself, is just look at the biggest companies. Look what they do, how they run their business, how they diversify their products. Too many people like don't look at that. I say look at it because that gets you to think bigger, and your subconscious mind will consume that and figured it out. Your subconscious mind is probably the most powerful thing that your body has. So looking at the big companies and like just looking and seeing what they're doing, your subconscious mind will work it out. And in 20 years from now, I think you'll be shocked. Because if you just look at, nothing against ClickFunnels, if you just look at the big players in your space, you're only going to grow that big.
Yeah.
That's it, because that's where you're looking at. But if you really, really look at Louis Vuitton, Apple, IBM, HubSpot, your subconscious mind will grow it, and you'll be in a different space. So just look outside of your bubble and just go shoot for the stars and just consume, because your subconscious mind will figure it out.
Yeah, that's good advice, man. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me. Most of my stuff is like Simon Harris. Harris spelled Harries. You can find me at JVZOO.com. Simon at JVZOO.com. You email me there at any time you want. Honestly, like I'm an open book. If you ever want to start an affiliate program, just email me. I'll literally build it for you. Like, as long as you use JVZOO, I'll build it for you. Yeah, so Instagram, YouTube, at Simon Harris, like, that's it. I don't know how I have all those usernames. I must have started early. But that's it. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, hit me up on email, drop a comment on any of my stuff. We'll get back to you.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it, bud.